Tens of thousands of years ago, ancient women grew long hair, not for beauty, but for the most brutal and hardcore survival and social advantage. In human evolution, all the aesthetic perceptions we take for granted are wrong. From movies and dramas to daily cognition, everyone assumes that women's long hair is merely a way to look attractive, a gentle temperament trait, and a cultural aesthetic preference formed in later times. However, the latest research in physical anthropology, evolutionary psychology, and ancient human survival science completely overturns this stereotype. For ancient humans, women's long hair was never a decorative accessory. It was a practical life-saving device, a high-end social business card, and a precise genetic screening system. It served as a core evolutionary strategy for ancient tribes to select high-quality individuals and sustain ethnic civilization during harsh and primitive times. Most people get a fundamental evolutionary fact wrong. Over millions of years of evolution, humans shed most of their body hair to adapt to savanna living and long-distance hunting for better heat dissipation. Yet scalp hair not only refused to degenerate, but kept growing indefinitely. More importantly, this long hair trait is far more prominent in women than in men. If long hair only existed for beauty, it would never conform to the rules of natural selection. In the ancient world, with scarce nutrition, rampant parasites, and extremely high time costs for grooming, any useless physical feature would have been eliminated by evolution. The fact that long hair was preserved and continuously strengthened proves one thing: women's long hair carries supreme core value that determines individual survival and ethnic reproduction. Here's the key point. The first and most overlooked function is hardcore survival protection. Ancient humans lived in open African savannas, exposed to intense ultraviolet radiation all year round. Humans' greatest evolutionary advantage is our large-capacity brain, which is also the most fragile organ that requires constant temperature protection. Thick long hair acts as a natural sunshade and constant temperature buffer layer. It blocks direct UV radiation on the scalp, prevents high-temperature damage to the brain, and cushions external injuries such as branch scratches and falls. In the Paleolithic era, with no protective equipment, healthy long hair was the most advanced outdoor survival protection system for ancient women, greatly boosting their survival rate. Here is an overlooked evolutionary detail. Beyond survival protection, long hair held even greater value as the top social credibility endorsement in ancient tribes. In primitive society, there were no physical examinations, no medical records, and no personal files. It was impossible to judge a person's nutrition level, immune ability, or health status intuitively. But hair never lies. Only women with sufficient nutrition, adequate protein intake, strong immunity, and no diseases or parasites could grow thick, smooth, and glossy long hair. Malnutrition, parasitic infections, illness, and low immunity would immediately cause dryness, hair loss, and dull, messy hair. Simply put, ancient women's long hair was a fully transparent public health report card. Based on this visual health indicator, ancient tribes formed the simplest and most efficient mechanism for social judgment and reproductive screening. In resource-scarce ancient times, tribes had to prioritize reproduction with individuals who had stronger physical fitness, better genes, and higher survival chances. The texture, density, and growth condition of hair became visible markers of high-quality genes. Women with perfect long hair gained more tribal resources, higher social recognition, and priority in reproduction. Over tens of thousands of years of iterative screening, the preference for long hair was solidified into human genetic instinct, forming a unified global aesthetic tendency. Understanding this logic will completely reshape your cognition. Our modern perception that long hair is beautiful and gentle is not a subjective aesthetic choice at all. It is an instinctive residual trait engraved in human genes through tens of thousands of years of evolution. When we appreciate long hair, we are subconsciously identifying vitality, health, and high-quality genes. Few videos online interpret this underlying evolutionary logic and break down romantic aesthetic misconceptions to restore the hardcore truth of ancient survival. Make sure to save this video to grasp these overlooked evolutionary details of human beings. From this perspective, all human aesthetics are not illusory metaphysics, but derive from real ancient survival needs. The seemingly soft, long hair of women hides the cruel logic of natural selection, rational survival competition, and precise genetic screening. It records the complete evolutionary process of humans from primitive survival to civilized society, serving as a living fossil of human evolution carried on every person's body. Modern romantic aesthetics are essentially the continuation of ancient survival wisdom. Every ordinary physical trait of humans hides millions of years of evolutionary precipitation. To audiences worldwide, what other ordinary human features contain hardcore evolutionary logic? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments.